Okay, Shalom. I want to go into some scriptures pertaining to the leaders of Israel. Those that call themselves leaders of our people. So always I'm going to start off with Colossians 3:17. Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushai, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach Yahushai. So all that we say and do is going to be in the name of the Lord and Savior. We ask the Most High to send forth His Spirit. We thank Him for everything, for He's worthy to be praised for everything. As we go into a few scriptures on talking to the leaders of Israel, those that know the Israelites and those that don't know the Israelites. Hear the word of the Most High. We're going to start with Jeremiah 14:2. Familiar scripture. It says, Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground. And the choir of Jerusalem is gone up. So, see here, when you look at, it says Judah mourneth. So the Jews are in mourning. The true Jews, the ethnic, biblical Jews, the so-called Negroes, the so-called African Americans. And the gates thereof language. So the gates, I'm going to look at the gates because since we're dealing with the leaders, I'm going to look at the gates because the gates is used for what? Protection from harm. You see, leaders are not protecting our people mentally, nor physically, but we don't have the means to be able to fight off any other nation. But we understand that the leaders or the elders, they was at the gates. That's where they were at. They were at the gates, and people would come to the gates and talk to the elders, and the elders would give the judgment through the Spirit of the Most High. Go to the book of Lamentations. Book of Lamentations 5:14. Lamentations 5:14. See, the elders have ceased from the gates. See? The elders have ceased from the gate. The young men from their music. Because we went into captivity. And also now, a lot of elders have ceased from the gates. Because they call themselves leaders, they call themselves leading people, our people, but not in truth and righteousness. Preparing our people for what's getting ready to happen, Jacob's trouble, preparing ourselves for the kingdom of Mashiach Yahushai, the kingdom of heaven, and the kingdom of the Most High. That our names can be written in the book of life. That's what it's all about. Your name not written in the book of life, you can be cast in the lake of fire. Straight up. So that's what this is all about. So more time has to be put upon how we as a people's name to be written in the book of life. Listen, Revelation 20:15. You can't hear it enough. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. And that's one verse you can take home with you. Marinate on that. If your name is not written in the book of life, you can be cast into the lake of fire. Point blank. Jeremiah 50:6. Dealing with these leaders. Jeremiah 50:6. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. See? The shepherd's supposed to be over the sheep. That's the leaders. Have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. So we're supposed to be remembering Israel. That's where we're going to rest. And the Most High bring New Jerusalem down. Send Yasharahla back here to judge and make war. And set up righteousness on this earth. And destroy all wickedness. Get rid of all wicked people. You see? Where it's going to be righteous Israelites whose name going to be written in the book of life and going to live forever. But see, my people that have been lost sheep. These people have been lost sheep. Lost. Don't know who they are. Don't know their culture. Don't know that you say we were kings and queens. Can't name nowhere we was kings and queens in. No period of time. You see? Verse 7. All that found them have devoured them. So we've been devoured them to this day. And their adversary, the enemy said, we fear not. We ever offended nobody. Because they have sinned against the Most High. So our enemies know that we sin against the Most High. How do we sin against the Most High? We hold that. Get Daniel 9:11. Word talk to you. Yeah, all Israel have transgressed thy law. It's the Most High's laws. Moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, and sacrificial laws that he gave us. 5 sets of laws. We know the sacrificial law is done away with when the Yasharahla was the Lamb of the Most High. He died and shed his precious blood for the sins of the 12 tribes of Israel. They say, yeah, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, from Deuteronomy 28:16-68. The servant of the Most High, because we have sinned against him. Because we sinned against the Most High. And he hath confirmed his words. He's not a man that he should lie. So he confirmed his words. It's the words of the Most High, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. That's to the 12 tribes of Israel. He brought upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven have not been done as has been done unto Jerusalem, as it is written in the law of Moses. All this evil is come upon us. Yet made we not our prayer before the Most High our power, that we might turn from our iniquities, that's sins, and understand thy truth. Understand thy law. The truth is the law. When you read Psalm 119, 142, thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Verse 14, therefore hath the Most High watched upon the evil. So the Most High see everything. His eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. So the Most High watched upon the evil and brought it upon us. For the Most High, our power, is righteous in all his works, which he doeth. But we obeyed not his voice. Go back to Jeremiah 50 and 7. It says, all that found them have devoured them. And their adversaries said, we fear not. We did not wrong, because they have sinned against the Most High. See, our enemies know this. Deuteronomy 28:68 says, the Most High going to send you into Egypt in captivity, slavery, and bondage again another time with ships. We the only people that came into captivity, slavery, and bondage on ships. By the way where I speculate, thou shalt see it no more again. And there we go on these ships, you shall be sold unto your enemies. For bondmen, slave men, and bond women, slave women. And no man shall buy you. Buy is an old medieval word which means to save or redeem from a worse condition to a better condition. Ain't no man gonna save us. Only a Mashiach Yahushua, to the power of the Most High. So listen, the nations know this. They say, we fear not, going back to Jeremiah 50:7. Because they have sinned against the Most High. Habitation of justice, even the Most High. The hope of their fathers. Faith that our fathers had in the Most High. We sinned against them. These nations know this. We don't know, because we don't know the Bible well enough to be able to go in here and see that this Bible is talking to us. It's our story. Look, Ezekiel 39:23. You think these nations don't know? It says, and the heathen, which are those outside of the 12 tribes of Israel, shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity. Why? For their iniquity. That's what it said. We didn't fear not. We went into captivity for our iniquity, for our sins, because they trespass against me. Therefore hid I my face from them, and gave them into the hand of their enemies. So fell they all by the sword, according to their uncleanness, and according to their transgressions have I done unto them, and hid my face from them. See? That was the Most High has done. And the heathen know these. These other nations, they the heathens, they know this. So now as you hearing it, hopefully your mind gonna be awakened to the fact that you got these shepherds over you that's leading you wrong. Leaders. Look, Hosea 5:15. This from the Most High. He said, I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense. See? We offended the Most High. You got the nation saying, we ain't did nothing, we ain't offended. This is happening because they sinned against their power. We don't know that. Most High said, I will go and return to my place, Hosea 5:15. Till they acknowledge their offense. We have offended the Most High by breaking his laws, statutes, commandments, not doing what he say do, and not hearing his voice. And seek my face. Remember, because he said he hid his face from us. So we got to seek his face. And he sent about Yahushua that we had the opportunity to seek his face. And he died and rose on the third day and went to the ascended to the right hand side of the Most High as a mediator between us and the Most High. 24/7. They will seek me, it says, in their affliction, they will seek me early. It's a time of Jacob's trouble. So it's time to wake up before it's too late. Before it's too late, people. Look at Isaiah, the 9th chapter, 16 and 17. Hear this, you leaders, so-called leaders. Isaiah 9:16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err. Hear that? The leaders of these people call us to err. And they that are led of them are destroyed. So, all you that are led by these leaders that's called you to err, you destroy. What? Basically, a lot of you, Hosea 4:6. Hosea 4:6. He destroyed. It's the reason why he's saying he destroyed. Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for what? What we destroyed from? For a lack of knowledge. You see? Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. He said, because you reject knowledge, he will also reject you. And you know, Proverbs 1:7 says, the fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. You see? That's why he said, because you reject knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. See, these leaders not supposed to be set up as the people over the Most High's flock. If you're dealing with any kind of religion, any type of religion, Most High didn't give us religion. He gave us laws, statutes, commandments. Religion comes from a Latin word, religio, means to hold back, keep down, and restrain you from what? The truth. Listen what it says. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. It'll be a bunch of rejects, according to the Most High's word. That thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. Now you say, you call on God, or whatever name you use for him, but you reject the law, or forgotten the law of the Most High. I will also forget thy children. What is saying? See, we're going to forget our children. That's why a lot of us were born not knowing the law of the Most High, not even knowing the law, considering the law of the Most High until this day. Look, Psalms 78, show y'all you edge. Psalm 78 and 5. Psalm 78 and 5. This excludes and diminishes all religions. It says, Psalm 78 and 5, for he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children. See, the children must be learning the laws of the Most High, that the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them, which is these laws, to their children, that they might set their hope or their faith in the Most High. You ain't got no faith in the Most High. You ain't doing what he say do. His rules and regulations, his laws, statutes, commandments, come on. That they might set their hope in the Most High and not forget the works of the Most High, but keep his commandments. See? Keep his commandments. And here you fall right here. It might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart aright. The heart is the mind, didn't set their mind aright, and whose spirit was not steadfast with the Most High. See? Therefore is the curse poured upon us, because the leaders have caused us to err, as it is written. Isaiah 9:16. Isaiah 9:16. For the leaders of this people caused them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. See that? They that are led of these leaders in their doctrines are destroyed. He just said my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge because you have forgotten the law. Now let's look at what Yasharahla said in Matthew 5:17, bringing it on home. Matthew 5:17. For you leaders that have forgotten the Most High's laws, saying we ain't under the law, but we under mercy and grace, and we Gentiles. Get out of here. Matthew 5:17. Think not, don't even think it, that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. Remember, that's why we destroy for lack of knowledge. We've forgotten the law of the Most High. That's why he said, think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. So let me ask you a question. What sin did the Yasharahla do? Because sin is a transgression of the law. It's all day long, 24/7. Tell you that in 1 John 3 and 4. So what sin did the Yasharahla do? He followed the Most High's rules and regulations, his laws. That's why he said, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. He fulfilled everything that was written about himself. How he would come here and suffer and die for the sins of the 12 tribes of Israel. Written of him in the law of Moses and in the prophets and in the Psalms. See? For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, the heaven and earth is still here. One jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. You see? Verse 19, this is to all you leaders out there, so-called leaders, that's leading our people and having them in the air and having them be destroyed. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, since you say we ain't under the law, and shall teach men so, that's what you're teaching. Hear this. Not only the leaders, but all you that's following these leaders is telling you that you're not under the law. You ain't got to follow the law. You ain't got to follow the rules and regulations of the Most High, but you got to follow the law of the land. You got to do both. Listen. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. So that's where you want to be. That's why I say you're going to be destroyed. You're going to be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But oh, listen. We're going to continue to read. Because it said, but, that's a condition. Whosoever shall do and teach them. Do and teach what? The laws of the Most High. The same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. Isn't that where you want to be? Great in the kingdom of heaven? So if you continue to believe that you don't have to do what the Most High say do, and you think He's going to bring you to a kingdom that you are rebellious against what He's saying you should do, you have no fear of the Most High. He said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And the fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. So you have no fear of the Most High. You ain't afraid of Him. You ain't scared of Him. He's going to make you afraid. He's going to make you be scared. Out of your wits. Isaiah 3. Isaiah 3. And 11. Isaiah 3 and 11. Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hands shall be given him. Yeah. The woe means destruction to the wicked. And you're wicked if you're not following the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. You can't do whatever you want to. You can't follow your heart. The heart tell you the heart is deceitful above all things. Desperately wicked. Who can know it? Most High know it. Most High know how you think. You know all your thoughts. His eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and even the secret parts. Verse 10. Say ye to the righteous, that it shall be well with him. Only way you righteous is to keep the laws of the Most High. For they shall eat the fruit of their doings. See? No more pain, no more suffering. Look at Deuteronomy. Say it to the righteous. How you be righteous? Deuteronomy 6:25. Deuteronomy 6:25. And it shall be our righteousness if, another condition, we observe to do all these commandments before the Most High our power, as He hath commanded us. Here's how He said before the Most High, because the Most High see everything. You ain't hiding from the Most High in your wickedness. That's why the righteous going to observe to do all his commandments, so that we can see the kingdom that's prepared for us already. Going back to Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, and verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors. Most I call them a bunch of kids. They call themselves kids. Say, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. Wow. Say, women rule over us. So if women rule over us, then this is what it says. O my people, they that lead thee. So if somebody lead you, they're ruling over you. They that lead you, cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy path. Destroy the way of your paths. That's why men, Most I gave the order of how everything should be. Women shouldn't be leading no men. Women should be in order with the man. I mean, that starts off with Eve. We can go there. After we go to how the Most High gave, he gave the order. He gave the order on how everything's supposed to be. Or, if it's not, it's out of order. 1 Corinthians 11:3. But I would have ye know, 1 Corinthians 11:3, that the head of every man is a Mashiach Yahushua. So Mashiach Yahushua is the head over the man, and the head of the woman is the man. It said, hey, women are leading men. They that lead you, ruling over men, and they that lead you cause you to err. You say the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Mashiach is the Most High. See? So, this is how everything is out of order. It's out of order, people. Destroying the path in which you should be able to go and actually operate in to please the Most High. And the path is the way. The Mashiach Shai said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me. So now that we know that the truth from Psalms 119:142 is the law of the Most High. You look at the Mashiach Shai telling us he's the way to show us how to follow the truth, which is the law, which he did in perfection. That's going to lead to everlasting life. And ain't nobody coming to the Most High except for by him. That's right. So, that's why we have guidelines to go by. And it's right here in this Bible. You ain't got to go far. You ain't got to seek out no anything outside from the Most High and his word. You don't have to be concerned about that. Look at Ecclesiastes 10th chapter and the 6th verse. Look at it says folly is set in great dignity. Foolishness is set in great dignity. And the rich sit in low place. But we the rich. In the knowledge and understanding the word of the Most High. Look at verse 5. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler. See? When But he's saying foolishness is set in great dignity. Foolishness. Look at all the things that you see on this world, in this world right now. Every day you wake up to some kind of foolishness being put on Twitter, on the internet, social media, television, in the newspaper, magazines, or what you see just walking around in your worlds. Everywhere. And the rich who we are sit in low place. That's why he told us, you think we ain't rich, he told us in Revelations 2:9. Revelation 2:9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. He know the condition that we in, but he say we're rich. Why? Because the kingdom's coming to us. Promises coming to us. The inheritance of the land of New Jerusalem is coming to us. Rest is coming to us. Promises, the covenants was given to Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob, to the 12 tribes of Israel. Oh yeah. Would you think he say streets paved in gold? Oh yeah. On all the possessions, or whatever you see that's left, once the Most High come and purify this earth, oh yeah. Rich indeed. And I know the blasphemy, the filthy wicked act, the filthy wicked sins of iniquity of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. See, these Jewish people that have taken on our identity, somewhat I might say, because we don't deal with the Talmud or the Kabbalah. All we need is the King James Authorized 1611 Bible. That's it. That's all you need. Micah 3:1. Micah 3:1. Micah the 3rd chapter, the 1st verse. And I said, hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel, is it not for you to know judgment, who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skin from off them, and their flesh from off their bones, who also eat the flesh of my people, and flay their skin from off them, and they break their bones and chop them in pieces, as for the pot, and as flesh within the cauldron. Come on. This ain't nothing new when you hear about people meat and the hamburger and all the different meat. They've been doing this. Then shall they cry unto the Most High, but he will not hear them. He will even hide his face from them at that time, as they have behaved themselves ill in their doings, and not following his laws, his commandments, hearing his voice. And the Yasharahla is the word of the Most High. The Most High have a voice, and the Yasharahla is the word of the Most High. From a voice come words. He's the word of the Most High. We don't want to hear him. In these last days, tell you in Hebrews 1 and 2, he's speaking to us too of Mashiach Yahweh. Verse 5. Thus said the Most High concerning the prophets that make my people err, that bite with their teeth and cry peace, and he that putteth not into and he that putteth not into their mouths, that even prepare war against him. Therefore night shall be unto you, meaning darkness, ignorance, that ye shall not have a vision, and it shall be dark unto you, that ye shall not divine, and the sun shall go down over the prophets, and the day shall be dark over them. Then shall the seers be ashamed, and the diviners confounded, confused, yeah, They shall all cover their lips. There is no answer of the Most High. He ain't saying nothing to them. Yet still they say, the Most High said. From there, I want to go to Philippians 3. Philippians 3 and 18. Philippians 3 and 18. For many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, but they are the enemies of the cross of Mashiach. You know? For many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, I am telling you, that they are the enemies of the cross of Mashiach, whose end is destruction, whose power is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things. See, well, Micah 3:11. Go back to Micah 3. Micah 3:11. The heads thereof judge for reward. They just in it for money. And the priests thereof teach for hire. And the prophets thereof divine for money. See? They're doing it for money. And you see that. I mean, they won't come precept upon precept, topic upon topic. This is the book of life, y'all. Whatever topic you want to know, from the past to the present to the future. What prophecies they bring forth? None. How are they showing you how to reach the kingdom of heaven so that your name can be written in the book of life? Teaching you a false doctrine. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon the Most High and say, is not the Most High, is not God among us? None evil can come upon us. That's what they're going to say, right? Therefore shall Zion, 12 tribes of Israel, for your sake be plowed as a field, and Jerusalem, that's talking about we the children of Israel, shall become heaps in the mountain of the house as the high places of the forest. Man. Do us in, and he did us in. Big time. Isaiah 36. Isaiah 36. Now give me Isaiah 61 and 1. I'm going to go there. Isaiah 61 and 1. So the Spirit of the Most High power is upon me, because the Most High have anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. We the children of Israel are the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of our power, and that day, and that the day of vengeance of our power, to comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Most High, that he might be glorified. See? That's what this is supposed to be about. Jeremiah 34 and verse 3. And thou, Jeremiah 34 and 3, and thou shalt not escape out of his hand, but shalt surely be taken and delivered into his hand. And thine eyes shall behold the eyes of the king of Babylon, and he shall speak with thee mouth to mouth, and thou shalt go to Babylon. No. Zedekiah, you think? Verse 2, thus said the Most High, the power of Israel, go and speak to Zedekiah, king of Judah, and tell him, thus said the Most High, behold, I will give this city into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall burn it with fire. This is the Most High city that he loved. Israel, Jerusalem. Thou shalt not escape out of his hand, but shalt surely be taken and delivered into his hand. And thine eyes shall behold the eyes of the king of Babylon, King Nebuchadnezzar, and he shall speak with the mouth to mouth. He shall speak with thee mouth to mouth, and thou shalt go to Babylon. Yet hear the word of the Most High, O Zedekiah, king of Judah. Thus said the Most High power of thee, thou shalt not die by the sword, but thou shalt die in peace. And with the burnings of thy fathers, the former kings which were before thee, so shall they burn odors for thee. And they will lament thee, saying, O Most High, for I have pronounced the word, said the Most High. You had kings, princes, women and children, the men went into captivity because the Most High ruled in the kingdom of men. He let you know just what his word says, that's what's going to happen. As he says, we're going to have to repent, come back to the knowledge and understanding of his laws, or you're going to be the least in the kingdom of heaven. You better believe it. And not mistake what it is that he's saying, because he's not a man that he should lie. He's bringing it. So you're looking at a lot of leaders are, as Yasharahla dealt with the Pharisees and the Sadducees, the scribes and the chief high priests and so forth. Just like we just read in Isaiah 61 and 1, go to the book of Luke, the 4th chapter, the 16th verse. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. It's Yasharahla. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read. See? He went up on the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read. Now, this is the time that we had synagogues. But see, by the time you get to Revelation, when we read in Revelation 2 and 9, we had fell in 70 AD. When he came to John on the island of Patmos, that was approximately like 90 AD to 96 AD. We'd already fell as a people. 70 AD. We didn't have no more synagogues. Romans had came in and brought us down. So at this time, Yasharahla, as his custom was, he went to the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read. Verse 17. And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah, as we just read. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, the Spirit of the Most High is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach the deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind. We that are, can't see in darkness, because he's at light. To set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of Yasharahla. And he closed the book, and he gave it again to the minister and sat down. And the eyes of all them that were in the synagogue were fastened on him. He was looking at him. He said, this day is this fulfilled. And he began to say unto them, this day is this scripture fulfilled in your eyes. And all bear him witness and wondered at the gracious words which proceeded out of his mouth. And they said, is not this Joseph's son? They said, the people didn't know. Like some of you don't think that he's Joseph's son. They say, is not this Joseph's son? And he said unto them, ye will surely say unto me this proverb, physician, heal thyself. Whatsoever we have heard done in Capernaum, do also here in thy country. And he said, verily I say unto you, no prophet is accepted in his own country. You hear that? No prophet is accepted in his own country. But I tell you of a truth, many widows were in Israel in the days of Elias, when the heaven was shut up 3 years and 6 months, when great famine was throughout all the land, but until none of them was Elijah sent, save unto Sarepta, a city of Sidon, unto a woman that was a widow. And many lepers were in Israel in the time of Elias the prophet, and none of them was cleansed, saving Naaman the Syrian. And all they in the synagogue, when they heard these things, were filled with wrath. They got angry and rose up and thrust him out of the city and led him unto the brow of the hill whereon their city was built. Took him up on a high hill. This is Yasharahla. That's what wicked Israelites did. That they might cast him down headlong, that they might throw him off this hill. But he passing through the midst of them went his way. He got away from them. He had to run away from these crazy Israelites. Came down to Capernaum, the city of Galilee, and taught them on the Sabbath days. They were astonished at his doctrine, for his word was with power. See? They wanted to kill him. That's why same people, same type of people, I might say. He said in Luke 19:14. But his citizens, the same people we just read about, hated him and sent a message after him saying, we will not have this man to reign over us. This Joseph's son. I mean, that's what they said. Like, you ain't nobody. They said, we ain't going to have him reign over us. So what did he say in reply to that? Luke 19:27. But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. Nobody reading that in the church. He said, there's people that don't want him to reign over them, bring hither and kill them before me. There'll be a whole lot of people going to be put to death. That ain't happened yet, but it's going to happen. You don't want him to reign over you? And righteous, not this phony baloney Caesar Borgia, this so-called white image that you done set up, or even if you say he's a so-called man of color and you still don't deal with him with the true testament of Yasharahla, you will be one of his enemies too. because you piercing him right now. Remember, he told you, you're going to be the least of the kingdom of heaven. Straight up. So it's a diabolical plan to keep us ignorant as a people without knowing the truth. I'm going to close out. Just got a few more I want to go. Look at Jeremiah 23. Jeremiah 23 and 1. Woe and destruction be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastors, said the Most High. It's destruction to you that destroy and scatter the sheep of the Most High's pastors. And therefore, thus said the Most High, power of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away with all these different religions, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, said the Most High. He said he's going to visit upon you the evil of your doings for what you've done and doing, because you have not visited them in righteousness. To show them how they're supposed to keep the laws of the Most High. Look at verse 16. Jeremiah 23:16. Thus said the Most High, power of hosts, hearken not, don't listen unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you. They make you vain, they make you worthless. Ecclesiastes 3:24 tell you that for many are deceived by their own vain opinion and an evil suspicion to overturn the judgment. That's why he said, thus said the Most High, power of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you. They make you vain, worthless, good for nothing. They speak a vision of their own heart, a vision of their own mind, and not out of the mouth of the Most High. Because the only way you're going to come out of the mouth of the Most High is thus said this Bible, period.